We will start with a team making their debut on this list. Literally everybody's making the debut. It's Bryce's best 8. First time we've ever done 8 rankings rather than 10. But first time making the list of my top teams in the NFL. At number 8, it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are the 8th best team in the National Football League and really technically left in the playoffs. And here is why. So Tampa Bay, obviously a very, very impressive finish against the Philadelphia Eagles, winning 32-9, taking advantage of an Eagles team that seemed mentally and psychologically messed up in many ways, shapes, and forms. But listen, Tampa Bay was in a spot where they had lost a lot of games. They were sitting there at 4-7. It looked, I wouldn't say dead in the water, but darn close to it. And what did they do? Win 6 of their next 7 games, win a playoff game in that span, win the division in that span of football action. And listen, Baker Mayfield, you could argue, he had a great season in 2020. I'll talk about Baker later in the show. But for him to come into Tampa Bay, let's be honest, Baker was he signed to Tampa. We felt like he was kind of damaged goods at this point. Post-Brady, the Buccaneers are going to draft a quarterback next year. And Baker shows up and shows out, has the best year of his career, has a stat line that's comparable to and in some ways better than Tom Brady's stat line, his final year in Tampa in 2022. Mike Evans, what can you say? He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no question about it. Another 1,000-yard season. Todd Bowles doing a phenomenal job, second year there with this defense. As I always say, the truly good to great coaches, the bare minimum, you have to specialize on your side of the ball. Todd Bowles absolutely does that. Buccaneers blitz about as much as anybody. They got a tall task going to Detroit, Michigan to take on the Lions in that hot franchise right now. But nonetheless, shout out to Tampa Bay. Win or lose, get to the NFC title game or not, this has been a successful season for Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers are the 8th best team in the National Football League. Moving up 3 spots from last week at number 7, it is... It's the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are the 7th best team in the National Football League, and here is why. So, need we regurgitate further what Green Bay's been able to do? They won 7 of their last 9 games. Jordan Love has been in that span, arguably the best quarterback in all of football. His stat line since the Packers started 3-6 is nothing short of phenomenal. He has, I believe, he's 17 touchdown passes in that stretch, and only 1 interception. So Jordan Love has been nothing short of phenomenal. He's been accurate. He's been efficient. He's been able to move in, out, inside the pocket, outside the pocket. My bad, it is actually 18 touchdown passes in that span with 1 interception. Completion percentage went from like 52% to 70%. Jordan Love's been accurate. He's been a good decision maker. These off-platform throws are ironically similar to Aaron Rodgers, eerily similar rather to Aaron Rodgers. Matt LaFleur, I've been critical of him in the past. He's done a marvelous job at developing this young quarterback. Aaron Jones has been the best running back in football statistically since coming back in Week 15. This Packers defense is plenty of playmakers. They play better as of late. I still have questions about whether or not they can take it to the next level. I get it was garbage time, but they still did give up 2 very long drives to Dallas in the fourth quarter. They're going to need to step it up if they're going to beat the San Francisco 49ers, the giant of that franchise, on Saturday. But the Packers, very impressive run to this point, similar to Tampa Bay. If they win, if they lose, they should feel good about whether as an organization and as a franchise. The Packers are the 7th best team in the National Football League, just a hair above them for one particular reason, or maybe 2. But at number 6, it is the Houston Texans. The Texans are the 6th best team in the National Football League, moving up 3 spots from last week, and here is why. So, what can you say, man? CJ F. and Stroud. 3 touchdowns, kind of like Jordan Love, 3 touchdowns, almost a near perfect passer rating. DeMeco Ryans, rookie head coach, might be coach of the year this season. And this Texans team, despite losing a guy in Tank Dell, they are able to get Nico Collins, get some good production out of him. Dalton Schultz, run game's been good. They're clicking on all cylinders right now. Now, defensively, I had some questions about them coming to the playoffs in some respects. Derek Stingley Jr., Will Anderson's had a great rookie season. DeMeco Ryans, again, specializing on his side of the ball, which is defense, and they absolutely shut down the Cleveland Browns last week, and Joe Flacco throwing 2 pick sixes in that game. Again, similar to the other 3 teams I mentioned, they got a tall task ahead of them, going to Baltimore on 2 weeks rest against the MVP of the league, Lamar Jackson, and the best team, the hottest team, rather, in the National Football League, of the Ravens. It's going to be tough for Houston. The only reason I put them above Green Bay, because I think they're in very similar spots as a franchise. They're just both kind of looking up. Great coach, great quarterback, really good young talented roster. I like Houston's defense better than Green Bay's. I trust it more consistently than Green Bay's. They've shown me better production over the course of the season and the playoffs to this point, the young playoffs, but that's where I got Houston. The Texans are the 6th best team in the National Football League. At number 5, not moving at all from last week, but it is a team I love. It's the Detroit Lions. The Lions are the 5th best team in the National Football League, and here is why. So, what can you say about Detroit, man? 3 wins in 2021, 9 in 2022, 12 in 2023 with their first postseason win since 1991. Barry Sanders was still a Detroit Lion at that point. It might be the greatest running back ever. But this is a new generation of Lions. This is a new group of Lions. This is a new culture of Detroit Lions. Brad Holmes, the general manager, has done a phenomenal job of putting this roster together through the draft, through free agency, through the trade market, bringing in Jared Goff. This is an organization, this is a franchise that has nothing but momentum moving forward. Dan Campbell's done a fantastic job this season. He's a potential candidate for Coach of the Year. Jared Goff having his best non-Rams season to this point. Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, if he's able to be healthy for this round. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got Jamison Williams, you got David Montgomery. They got some dudes, they got some playmakers, they got the best offensive line in the playoffs left at this point, even over the Ravens. I love where Detroit's at. Defensively, I have some questions, but they're a bend but don't break defense. The Rams got to the red zone 3 times in that game, were forced to 3 field goals. Listen, Detroit's got a tough task ahead against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday afternoon. It's going to be tough, but listen, I love where this Lions organization is going. I picked them before the season to get to the NFC title game. They're 1 win away from proving me right. I feel great about the Lions. The Lions are the 5th best team in the National Football League. At number 4, this is the highest they've been on this list all season. It is the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are the 4th best team in the National Football League, and here's why. So, folks, they've won 6 straight games after starting with 6 wins and 6 losses. You consider the fact that Josh Allen last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, or really a couple of days ago, much to my chagrin as a Steelers fan, did not turn the football over. It's his most complete game yet. A pass rating in the 100s, in the triple digits rather, a QBR of 91 on 0 to 100, 3 touchdowns to the air, 1 on the ground. We know he can do with his arm, with his legs. If he's able to limit as I often dub it, reckless plays, this team can beat anybody in the NFL. This guy can go toe-to-toe, as I've said for years, with the best in the NFL by the name of Patrick Mahomes. This defense is concerning in the sense that they've lost a lot of linebackers as of late. That's something that Kansas City could potentially expose. But James Cook, Pro Bowl running back, this offensive line is by far the best in the Josh Allen era to this point. Good weapon. Shakir is a guy who's able to make plays for them after the catch. We'll see if they get Gabe Davis back from injury. Dalton Kincaid, who they drafted out of Utah, who I loved out of the draft, he's able to make plays. He caught a touchdown pass against might have caught 2 touchdown passes against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's very effective. This is the best Bills team overall, complete organization of talent in the Josh Allen era to this point. They've got a great opportunity to get to the AFC title game and put themselves in a position to get to the first Super Bowl since the Jim Kelly days of the early to mid-90s. The Bills are the 4th best team in the National Football League. At number 3, it's the defending champs, not moving a spot from last week. It is the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are the 3rd best team in the National Football League, and here is why. So, listen, nothing about what they did against the Dolphins on Saturday shocked me in the slightest. So you got a team that's great in cold weather, with the best quarterback in the league, best coach in the league, best tight end ever, and one of the greatest playoff performers ever statistically, a top 3 defense, facing a team that sucks in weather that isn't 70 degrees in the 4th coldest game ever. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Kansas City and to cover the 4.5. That was my favorite bet of the week again, if I were a bet man. That's why I called the segment that. But Kansas City took care of business. Isaiah Pacheco was very effective. I didn't love how Kansas City wasn't able to finish in the red zone, and they haven't really been able to do that for the vast majority of the season. But the drops were mostly held to a minimum in this game. No Marquez Valdes-Scantling or Kadarius Toney, who wasn't, I believe, healthy for this game, but no really major plays by them. In a negative form and fashion, which we've seen oftentimes for these Kansas City Chiefs team. But listen, you got Chris Jones, you got McDuffie, who's been one of the best corners in the NFL this season. You have plenty of guys, plenty of playmakers on that side of the football. We'll see what they're able to do. Rashee Rice kind of stepping up as that potential number 1 receiver now for Patrick Mahomes, especially now as Travis Kelce is getting older. It's going to be key. But first road playoff game on Sunday night against Buffalo. It's going to be a tall task. But I believe in dynasties. I believe they can flip a switch to the playoffs. I think we saw that for basically 3.5 hours on Peacock against the Miami Dolphins. Kansas City's in great shape. And listen, the hate is going to hate on the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not going to do that. And the Chiefs are at number 3. Please don't sue me, Taylor. At number 2, retaining their spot at last week, it is the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are the second best team in the National Football League, and here is why. So we haven't seen a healthy Niners team play in 2 weeks because they rested in Week 18, and they obviously did not play last week due to the first-round bye. But Brock Purdy leading the NFL in passer rating to this point. This defense is stacked. This offense is stacked. There's listing all pros: Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey. He got guys like Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle defensively, Bosa, Young. We can just continue. Warner. Not Hargraves. Hargraves. They got Javon Hargraves from the Eagles. They got, oh my gosh, what's the linebacker's name? I'm forgetting the linebacker's name. For the San Francisco 49ers, who's an impact playmaker on that side of the ball. But fantastic linebacking core that the San Francisco 49ers have. Fantastic secondary. Ward has played well from this year, the free agent acquisition from the Kansas City Chiefs. He's been very effective in many ways. Greenlaw, Drake Greenlaw. I apologize to Drake Greenlaw. Elite player, would be the best linebacker on any team in the NFL, not named the San Francisco 49ers. Well-coached defense with Steve Wilkes. Well-coached offense with Kyle Shanahan. My only concern, and I've been saying this for months now, can they play from behind? Shanahan has struggled in his career coaching from behind. Purdy struggled in his very young career playing from behind. We'll see if they're able to play from behind early and often, and maybe the entire game against the Green Bay Packers on Saturday. But if they play from ahead, if they get out 7-0, 14-0, it's over. Okay, they're going to steamroll you. They're going to hit you in the mouth. They play a very physical brand of Shanahan, West Coast offense level football. There really isn't much not to like about this team. Again, I maintain, if Brock Purdy is the weak link of your football team, you're in pretty good shape. The Niners are the second best team in the National Football League and retaining their number one spot for many, many weeks now, about a month now. It is the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, much to my chagrin as a Steelers fan, are the best team in the National Football League, and here's why. So just like the Niners, we have not seen them play a healthy game in 2 weeks due to them resting in Week 18 and then not playing last week due to the first round bye. But Lamar Jackson's undeniably the MVP of the league. He plays great against great teams. His pass ring's excellent. Touchdown interception ratio is good. He's been fantastic against virtually every great defense. You throw out Cleveland. You throw out teams like the San Francisco 49ers, the game in which I really thought he kind of wrapped up the MVP with. John Harbaugh's a great coach, has championship history. This defense is the best in all football. Best scoring defense, best defense in terms of getting to the quarterback. They're great everywhere. Secondary's excellent with Marlon Humphrey, etc. Obviously, the pass rush and the linebacking core with Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith, who's probably a top 3 linebacker in all of football. They're well coached with Will McDonald calling the defensive plays. Todd Monken has changed this offense. He's helped elevate Lamar Jackson to a level I've always believed he could get to, but now we're finally seeing it. Odell Beckham Jr. By the way, Mark Andrews potentially coming back from injury on Saturday. Maybe not before that, but if they win, you would certainly expect him to potentially be back for the AFC title game should the Ravens get there. It's a lot of great receivers. Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews potentially coming back, Odell Beckham Jr. Heck, that Isaiah Likely kid has been pretty productive as of late. It's great O-line. It's not much not to love about the Baltimore Ravens. My only question is, can they play from ahead in the fourth quarter? And that sounds crazy, but they blow more double-digit leads than any team in football since the 2020 season. They've blown a couple of double-digit leads this year. Only time will tell. The Ravens are the best team once again in the National Football League. By the way, I think Baltimore's actually blown one. It was the Colts game. Was that a blown double-digit lead? I believe it was. I know for a fact they blew one against the Cleveland Browns, but they haven't lost since then. Hottest team in the league and a deserving number one in the National Football League. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.